I pride myself on being a teacher who's very open about her life. And one of the things I'm very open about is my sexuality. I have a trans flag, a bi flag, a non-binary flag, all on my desk at my work. But there's one thing I'm not open about, and it's being poly. And today that actually became something I had to worry about for the first time.
This is a pretty uniquely terrifying time to be a queer teacher in the United States. Sometimes I wonder if it's not just worth it to hide who I am when I'm at school. It's a great reminder that if that experience with my teacher taught me shame, then I have an opportunity with my students to teach them pride, love, and acceptance, and that's going to be worth it to me. So
I've been thinking about this a lot, and I know that we, and by we I mean queer educators, talk a lot about how important it is to be visibly queer for our queer students.
Hi, here's some things my students have said/done since I came out and changed my teacher name.
You have a new name?
Well, yes, it's a name that makes me a lot happier, and that's why I changed it.
I like your new name.
I do too, but it's nice to know I have your approval.
Mix? You mean like mixing you up like cookie dough?
Hi, everybody. Auntie Speaks. Welcome back. So that was a little vignette of some of the crazy teachers that libs of TikTok have highlighted for all of us. And that first one was Remy. Remy is super special. She really wants to make sure that she helps all of her kids. And at the end of this video, I'm going to link an entire video that I did about Remy because she is super special. She wants to make sure she talks about trans and her sexuality, including her polyamory to, all the kids. She just, wants to make sure that they all feel comfortable. Yes. So a lot of us have been thinking for a while, where are the adults? Could we have adults teaching the chitlins? Could we do that? Maybe? No, we can't. You got to talk about your sexuality to everybody, 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds. So a lot of us have said, where are the adults? And we finally have some standing up. An actual medical association that has started to speak out. So let's take a look at this and let's applaud some of the adults standing up and pushing back.
Essentially, transgender ideology holds that people can be born into the wrong body. It's simply not true. Human sexuality is binary. Okay, we know this because in nature, reproduction is the rule. And human beings, we engage in sexual reproduction. You need a man and a woman to do that. Women are XX. Those are the sex chromosomes. Women have two X's. Men have an X and a Y. Those are genetic markers. They're genetic markers for female and male, respectively. Okay, binary. That's the rule, and it's self-evident.
Isn't it hilarious in the 1984 that we live in? We have to have a doctor come out and talk about facts. I mean, this is Dr. Michelle Cretinella. But what's more important is she is the president of American College of Pediatrics. So finally, we have some doctors and some professional doctoral associations coming out and talking about basic biology. And in today's world, this is like crazy, meaning there's an XX and an XY. What? There are men and women? Shocking.
Transgender, someone who identifies as transgender, however, that's not a problem in their body. Gender identity, all identities, they're in our thoughts. Thoughts and feelings, those are not hardwired, they develop, and they may be factually wrong or factually correct. The definition of a delusion is a fixed false belief. So if I consistently insist that I am Margaret Thatcher, or consistently insist that I am a cat, or I'm an amputee trapped in a normal body, I am delusional. And in fact, there are people who believe they are amputees trapped in a normal body. They are appropriately diagnosed as having body identity integrity disorder. If you want to cut off an arm or a leg, you're mentally ill. But if you want to cut off healthy breasts and genitals, then you're transgender and you don't have a mental illness.
Thank you. This is the craziest thing in today's society. If I stood in front of you and I said, I'm Napoleon, I know I'm Napoleon, I'm going to go invade Britain, you'd look at me and say, we might need to put her in a padded room. Might need to do that. But no. If I stand in front of you and say, I'm a man, then you have to affirm me. And especially if I'm 4 or 5, you definitely have to affirm me, because 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds definitely know what gender is and definitely know their body and their sexuality. Yeah, this is the crazy world that we live in. There's another analogy that people have made, anorexia. These people who have anorexia think they're fat. And literally, you can see them. Like, you can see their bones and they think they're fat. If they came to you, would you say, okay, you can have liposuction? Sure. No, you would say you have a mental disorder. And before 5 seconds ago, transgenderism was a mental disorder. It was a disorder of the mind. Now, that doesn't make it good. That doesn't make it bad. But it is a mental disorder. Now we are telling kids that no, you were born in the wrong body. You were assigned your gender at birth. This is really dangerous stuff, especially to tell to children.
Individuals with disorders of sex development are being used as pawns in the fight for basically a civil right to mental illness. There's no such thing as a civil right to a mental illness, but that is in fact what we are dealing with the transgender rights movement.
A civil right for a mental illness. That is a wonderful way to put it. We are at the point in the United States where we are now encouraging children to have mental illness. And then we also have TikTok, which is basically melting the brains of the younger generation. Not only is it convincing them that they're trans, it's convincing them to have mental disorders, tics, and we now have something called TikTok brain, which is these kids can't concentrate because they grew up on TikTok now for the past 3 years and they had nothing else to do than look at 5-second videos. And if you can't have an attention span past 5 seconds, you're going to have problems in life. So, all you Democrats out there, I'm of the opinion that there are 2 classes of people in the United States. Those that are paying attention and those that are not. And there's a 3rd class. There's an evil class. They're doing it for power or money. So those are the 3 classes. People who are paying attention, people who are not paying attention, and then the evil ones who want money and power. I think most of the Democrats who vote in the Democratic election for a Democrat are people who are not paying attention. They've been sold a bill of goods that Republicans are evil. We're transphobic. We hate gay people or whatever. No. Conservatives want to conserve. We're the type of people where when you're walking in a field and you see a brick wall, we stop and say, why is that brick wall there? Maybe it has a purpose. Maybe it's supposed to be there. Where a Democrat goes, let's tear it down! Tear down that brick wall! Whatever happens afterwards doesn't matter. And maybe that brick wall was holding back the Mongols. You don't know. We're not evil on the conservative end. And I don't even consider myself conservative. I'm more like a libertarian. I really do not care what people do in their own personal lives. The only time I care about it is when your decisions affect the rest of us. When you want to erase the word woman, that affects all of us. When you want men to be able to walk into women's locker rooms, that affects all of us. When you want to teach 4-year-olds that they can be the opposite sex when they can't. There is nothing that they can do that will change their sex. They can mimic the other sex. But 85 to 90% of children that are left alone will end up identifying with the gender of their birth. Okay? So adults are starting to stand up. They're starting, and we need to encourage them. So please pass this around and share this, like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys on the next one.